Hi guys, OB Dave here.
And I am Ash.
Together we are OB Dave, and Ash has had a bad day.
Just a bit. We won't talk about it.
No, we're not here to talk about it, don't worry.
We're here to watch something funny and cheer me up.
Send some love to Ash in the comment section after a stressful day. But happy to announce that Ash now lives here.
I do. Been 2 nights, even though obviously we spent that amount of time together when we've just spent weekends together, but it's different, isn't it?
It's the longest I've gone without, in years, so...
Such a liar. Such a liar. I heard you in the bed next to me. In bed next to me.
Going, Jesus Christ.
I tried to make that a really good joke and I completely botched it.
It was terrible.
Awful.
Yeah, anyway. It's just, she still has a flat. She's got loads of stuff in it, but you sleep here all the time now.
I do.
And then we're gradually getting all your stuff here as well, so...
You say we, but it's me.
I offered to fill my car the other day and you said no.
Well, because you wouldn't handle it right. That's my crafting stuff. That's really important. I'm very particular about my crafting things. Like, we had to have a discussion. I was like, no one touches my desk and all my stuff, no matter what.
You don't even got a desk yet.
Not yet, but I've got my eye on them.
So that means anyone can touch whatever they want.
No.
So going through boxes.
No.
Trying on clothes.
No. I will murder you. All those people in the comments that are like, get away, Dave. That'll be the reason.
Yeah, where did Dave go? What happened to Dave? And it's like, yeah, he let someone live with him again.
No, he messed with my wool.
No, I'm not going to do that. You're not in danger there.
Good.
You couldn't pay me to get into crochet or knitting or any of that.
You don't have to. Just don't touch it. Get all your oily fingers all over them.
Anyway, right. Do you know the story of Shane Gillis getting sacked from Saturday Night Live?
I think you told me about it, and then he went really big afterwards.
So as a quick refresher, I think it was 2019, around then.
Okay.
He got a job at Saturday Night Live, and the press got up a load of clips of his podcast, some of which were behind a paywall, and decided to share them of him doing like impressions of Chinese people.
Charming.
And like some quite what you would call offensive jokes, but jokes on a comedy podcast.
Taken out of context.
Yeah, taken out of context. Okay. And apparently when he got the Saturday Night Live job, the first thing he did was pay off all his student debt. And then he got sacked. The next day it was like back to square one.
Jesus.
So obviously it was awful for him. And he tells the story about, people keep saying to him, it was the best thing that ever happened to you. And he's like, no, it was shit.
Yeah,
it was awful.
I couldn't imagine being sacked. What a horrible feeling, no matter who you are.
It's publicly called out and shamed
that as well. Oh, God.
So, like, a while goes by, he goes on Rogan to talk about it, because Rogan's a big supporter of comics, especially people that get cancelled and stuff. But then, since then, Shane's career has just been like, boom.
Yeah.
Not because he went on Rogan. That helped explain his story. But obviously, you've seen some of his stand-up now. He's just hilarious.
He is. He's really funny.
He seems like such a down-to-earth, normal guy that would be your mate, but he'd also roast you.
It's the one with his special needs basketball team.
Yeah, and coaching the special needs.
And the Hooters.
Yeah. So basically, Saturday Night Live invited him back.
Of course they did.
They have a monologue at the beginning.
Yes.
And you get quite often a stand-up comic will do a monologue. Bill Burr's done it. Norm Macdonald, who I don't think I've shown you yet.
Jennifer Lawrence has done one as well.
Yeah, she's not a comic.
No, but
nice
it's a monologue that you were referring to the monologue.
Yeah. So they got Shane back to do it, and he's literally done it this weekend, just gone.
That's big of him to go back to the company that literally tried to shame him and sacked him for, not even giving them a proper reason. It's just completely out of context.
They did, and at the time he even turned around and said, I get it. He just went, I get it. I said some pretty sketchy things. You don't, you've got sponsors. You're a big network TV show. Yeah,
but they knew that when they hired him. So why react after the fact?
Public pressure or perceived public pressure.
But that's what I mean. A company should stand behind their client. It's like the whole thing with Johnny Depp. How many companies dropped him, and that one, I think it was Christian Dior, was the only one that stood by him.
I think it's great that Saturday Night Live have done this.
Yeah.
And Shane said it's still amazing. Like what it's cool.
Yeah.
I've heard him talk about it on podcasts since he's done it, but I've not watched it yet.
Okay.
So it's just literally been out for a couple of days on YouTube.
Okay.
So we're going to check it out.
Cool.
I don't think there's anything else to say about it, really.
No.
So you get the background now.
Yes.
And, Should we go for it?
Yeah.
He's done a few sketches on there as well, by the look of it, which I've not seen.
Okay.
Which I think we need to react to at some point. But yeah, let's get this one. This is Shane Gillis's Monologue from Saturday Night Live.
Let's do it.
Are you ready for it?
I think so.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Gillis!
Loud enough.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm here. Most of you probably have no idea who I am. I was fired from this show a while ago, but if, don't look that up, please. If you don't know who I am, please don't Google that. It's fine. Don't even worry about it. I don't know. I probably shouldn't be up here, honestly. I should be home. I should be a high school football coach. That's what I should be. Like, God molded me perfectly to be a high school football coach / 9th grade sex education teacher. But that is what I want to be. That is, I can feel it. It's in there. It's like my true calling. And you feel, I can feel it. I'm getting older. It's passing me by. Like my biological clock is ticking on this stream. You know how like when a woman's biological clock is ticking, she sees like a baby in a stroller and is like, "Oh my God, your baby!" Like that's how I am. If I see like a big 15-year-old, I'm like, "Oh my God, look at the size of that kid." With the right coaching, that kid could be something special. I'm telling you right now. I come from a long line of coaches in my family. My father is actually a volunteer assistant girls high school basketball coach. He's actually here right now. Can you get him on there? Yeah. There he is. There's my dad, the volunteer assistant girls high school basketball coach. I thought it was funny. All right. You don't think that's funny to bring my dad here to make fun of him for being a girls' high school basketball coach? All right. I thought it was great. Never mind.
Did you see his dad's face go, "Oh no, that's why he invited me on, that's why he got me tickets"?
I reckon I think he's like, his family's Irish descent.
You think so?
Yeah, I think, yeah. I'm fairly certain they are, and there's a lot of culture of just piss-taking in Irish families.
Gillis kind of sounds Irish, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think there is. I hope I'm not jumping to conclusions there. But like a lot of Irish people I've known, it's like the household environment is a lot of piss-taking and roasting. And I think his dad's in on it. I think he gets it. His mum's laughing. Him roasting his dad on TV in front of millions of people.
But that's what I mean. I think he probably thought, he's invited me on SNL. He got sacked from this place. He's probably not going to make a big scene.
Yeah.
He's just invited me on for, a little bit of support. And then as the cameras panned to him and he started to make the joke, you could see his dad sort of go, "Oh,
yeah.
I should have known. I should have known."
I bet he secretly loves it.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
Yeah. All right. I thought it was great. Never mind. Thought that was going to be a big hit here. Now my mom's up there with him. My mom, I'm not going to make fun of you. My mom asked me this a lot, and it's kind of an intense question. My mom asked me, she's like, "When did we stop being best friends?" And she's right. We used to be best friends. You remember that when you were a little boy and you loved your mom and you thought she was the cool. You remember when you were gay? You remember when you were just a gay little boy? Every little boy is just their mom's gay best friend. There's literally zero difference. I was gay for my mom. She would pick me up from school. I'd hop in the van. I'd be like, "Girl, tell me about your day." I thought she was cool. I would listen to her music. I'd be like, "Bam, bam, ba-dam, bam, bam, bam. Let's go, girls." I would dance for her. Just be like, "Look at my little dancer." But my mom asked me when we stopped being best friends, and I don't have the heart to tell her because, like most men, I know exactly when me and my mom stopped being friends. It was the first time I whacked off. All right. Before that, you're like, oh, where's my mom? I love my mom. She's so cool. One nut, you're like, when's that bitch gonna leave the house? I have so much business to attend to. All right. I hope I can say those words on TV.
Look at the band behind him. Like, on the left, a couple of people cracked a smile, but there's some pretty straight faces.
I don't know, they all look like they're smiling, even the lady in the back smiling.
They did on that pause, but the guy with the white hair didn't seem to be laughing whatsoever.
Oh, he's ripping on his mom. It's always, like the tradition. It's like, you don't take the mick out of your ma.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, you do all the time.
Yeah, I do.
You wind your mum up as often as you can.
Yeah, it's fun.
Anyway, my whole family's here, so I'll talk about them instead of anything else. Talk about my family. I'll tell you this. I don't know if you guys, if you can tell by looking at me, but I do have family members with Down syndrome. It almost got me. I dodged it, but it nicked me. It's funny. It's fun. Look, I don't have any material that can be on TV, all right? I'm trying my best. Also, this place is extremely well lit. I can see everyone not enjoying it. This is, just the most nervous I've ever been. Don't clap now. Shut up. No, I brought up Down syndrome. You can always tell who's never been around Down syndrome when you bring it up. Like, if I tell people, if I'm like, yeah, I have family members with Down syndrome, people that have never been around it are always like, oh. Like it's the end of the world. Like, oh, are they okay? Are they doing? It's like, they're doing better than everybody I know. They're the only ones having a good time pretty consistently. They're not worried about the election. They're having a good time. My niece has Down syndrome, and I thought that was going to get a bigger laugh. I thought we were allowed to have fun here. But no, my niece has Down syndrome. It's a funny thing that happens when someone in your family has Down syndrome. It goes, when my sister was pregnant, everybody was like very, very scared. And then once they come into your life, you realize that's easily the only good member of your entire family. It's crazy. And then your family gets like too proud. Like now, every single day in my family's group text, it's just pictures of my niece. And every day, somebody else in my family comments, she looks exactly like Uncle Shane. And I have to be like, yeah, I see it a little. And there's no denying it. She does. She looks like me with bangs. Just happy. But my niece's mother, she didn't know she could get pregnant, so she foster cared and then adopted 3 black kids, and then she finally got pregnant, and now she has a kid with Down syndrome, and her husband is from Egypt. He's an Arab guy. You go over to their house, it's like getting in the craziest Uber pool you've ever been. It's crazy. Like, how did you guys meet? This is... But there's something, I don't know, my niece, one day, I'm not saying it's like something I'm looking forward to, but I think it'll be a nice thing for the whole country. I would say when my niece is probably in like 5th, 6th grade, out at recess, and some white kids out there like, hey, you're not allowed to play with us, you're retarded. And then 3 black kids come flying out of nowhere, just start wailing on that cracker. Everyone's gonna be like, oh! It's like a nice moment. Yeah, you guys said cracker. No, my family and I, we opened a coffee shop in my hometown for people with Down syndrome to work at, and it's going. Don't clap. I didn't do it for the claps. I did it. It's going exactly how you think it would go. It's doing well, actually. Line around the corner every day. Not because there's like a ton of people going, but service is. Everyone's getting apple juice. We don't know how to fix that problem. There's one thing you know. There's one thing you notice though when you work with these guys, and it's funny. There's zero difference between us and them, and especially at work, there's no difference. Every day these dudes show up to work just. And you're like, what's your problem, dude? They're like, I hate this job. So, all right, hey, we've got a great show for you tonight. 21 Savage is here, so stick around. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Nice.
He seemed so nervous to start with, and everything he said, he was just like, no. Because his mic like started up here and then he relaxed a bit into it when he started getting his material going.
I've not watched that yet, but I've watched a couple of clips of him talking about it.
Oh yeah.
On podcasts and things,
Yeah.
and he said it's literally the most nervous he's ever been.
You could tell. You could definitely tell. I get it. Like I said, that must have been so terrifying. Like after the last sort of saga that happened with that company, to suddenly be back on and be like, whoa.
It's still a huge achievement for a comic.
Oh,
like
yeah.
We don't really get Saturday Night Live in the UK, so all we hear is like US people talking shit about it, saying it's not funny and things like that.
But I've seen really good clips when I have seen the odd clip.
Bill
like,
Burr
I think,
did it, Louis C.K. did it, Norm Macdonald, who
didn't
we haven't
Childish
reacted to.
Gambino? He was on there at one point
I'm
as
not
well.
sure, but he's a stand-up comic as well.
Yeah,
isn't
he is, yeah.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. I always wanted
But
to
no,
call him
like
Childish Gambino.
I just hear Americans say that it's not very good, but they all seem to watch it at the same time. So it's still a huge thing for a comedian to get to doing the monologue on that. I think.
But a lot of the British say that about EastEnders, like it's rubbish TV, but everybody watches
No,
it.
they don't. No, nobody watches it.
There's a lot of people that watch.
I actually, when I was in Amsterdam years ago, put the EastEnders omnibus on, which is like all the week's episodes back to back without adverts, and sat and explained it to some Dutch people, like just smoking weed, and they're like, "Who's that? Why is that person trying to kill that person? Who are they sleeping with?" And I was just like, just explaining EastEnders.
My aunt would when my dad and I first moved over, we were living with my aunt because she helped us settle in the country, and she would watch Emmerdale, Coronation Street and EastEnders every single night, and then every single weekend she'd sit and watch the omnibus. It's like, you've seen all of these, why are you watching it again?
I actually did worse. I didn't do Emmerdale, but there used to be one called Crossroads that was on even earlier.
Do you remember Hollyoaks?
Yeah, but I used to watch Crossroads.
Yeah.
Then The Simpsons would be on. Then after The Simpsons it'd be Hollyoaks, and then on a Monday it was EastEnders, Coronation Street, and then EastEnders again. And like, you can tell I used to be a proper stoner because I just used to lie in bed watching that all night.
Did I ever tell you little African me sitting in Zimbabwe? The only British programmes we got was on Sky TV, Sky News, and we would get EastEnders, and I thought all British people were as crazy as these.
You thought they were all Cockney murderers and gangsters and stuff.
Seriously, I was like, what's wrong with these people? Why are we moving there?
Fair point. So what did you think of the monologue then?
It was really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It has perked me up a bit.
Good.
Don't get me wrong, I'm still feeling a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
You guys have all had that day at work where you just are so exhausted by it, you're just like, why?
Yeah, there's a lot going on at the moment.
There is, and obviously
is.
it doesn't help with still the move going on, but it is nice to be in like one place now as well.
Nice to have you here.
It's nice to be here.
You psycho that's going to take all my stuff.
No, I'm not. Just don't touch my wall and we'll be all right.
I'm not going to touch your wall.
or my sewing machine.
I have no interest in touching your sewing machine or your wall.
The thing is, people say this, and the number of like ex-housemates that would come in to have a chat in my room, and like even Oscar, like my wool winder, the first thing everyone does when they would come round to my flat, use my winder.
He was
like,
7 at the time.
It doesn't matter. Even people like my dad would come over, and the first thing he would do is use the winder. It's like, stop touching my stuff.
Well, it's nice to have you here
It's
permanently.
nice to be
It is. I think well deserved for Shane Gillis there. I think he's such a funny guy, but just seems like a normal guy. And like he's been on other people. He went on Flagrant, Andrew Schultz's podcast, and it seemed like he got ambushed a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, with them trying to like, they kept showing him clips of Down syndrome people and stuff, and he was like,
Shame.
I don't, you know, I get what the joke is, but you know, and he wasn't, but he kind of outclassed some pretty good comedians.
Yeah.
And he just seems like such a down-to-earth, cool guy that he is kind of an everyman, you know, where he seems to just get on, have a laugh, take the piss, doesn't take himself seriously. So fair play, he deserves all the success he's got, I think.
I was going to say, it's like a little bit of redemption, isn't it, as well, being welcomed back after everything that's gone on, because I suppose it's also SNL going, we're sorry, in their own way. Obviously not outrightly or publicly, but they've sort of gone, sorry.
When they announced that he was going to be doing it, news organisations started resurfacing all the old clips, saying these clips are resurfaced, and it's like, no, you've resurfaced them. It's just hit pieces to try and get rid of him. If you listen to him, you know he's not racist, you know he's not sexist, homophobic.
I know.
What's the one for disabilities?
I sometimes think that actually it's not the politicians that have power, it's the media. That they have far too much
the
power.
media work for the politicians.
Not
They do for the most part. They do. All the big news agencies do.
No.
1,000,000% they do.
No.
Yes, they do. 1,000,000%. Even in this country, they do.
No.
They do.
No.
They do.
We disagree.
Anyway, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. This video is supposed to come out in 20 minutes, so I think we better end it.
Yeah, better head.
Yeah, right then. I've got nothing to say, really.
We were going to do a little snippet while we've got a few minutes. Obviously, with me living here, we are going to be doing a lot more on Patreon. So obviously, we'll be advertising a bit more and having a few more discussions in our videos and let you guys know what's coming up and what's exciting. But if you do have suggestions, into the comments.
Not been pushing it because I just put the odd video on there, like 1-2 a week.
Yeah.
And until you were here and we could offer something a bit more consistent, then I didn't really want to push it because you know, if people want support, great. But I also don't want to like hard sell something. It'd be great though. Like we're going to figure something out that's going to be a regular thing on Patreon, and
We're also desperate for your dad jokes, your best dad jokes. Like I said, I'm not reading them. I see obviously that it is going to be along the lines of a dad joke. I'm screenshotting, and then we are going to see who laughs the loudest, or something like that. We've got a plan.
We're just going to sit and stare at each other after a couple of drinks and just do dad jokes at each other, see who laughs.
Is it like Innuendo Bingo on BBC Radio?
It's just, it's going to be worse. It's not going to be professional in the slightest. It's going to be a disaster. Anyway, make sure you like and subscribe. It does mean the absolute world, and we will see you all soon.
Bye, guys.